r/off my chest. Jip Jabbeep says, I married the wrong person. I'm 36, husband 37. Over the pandemic, my husband had nothing better to do than to scroll through the internet and somehow became indoctrined into everything that I don't believe in. What's worse is that he is constantly arguing with me, gaslighting me that I'm an idiot for believing in fake news. Sandy Hook is fake. COVID was on purpose. Vaccines are for population control. Media is trying to make people worship Satan. Woke culture wants everyone to be transsexuals, and more. As context, both of us are, or were, liberal leaning. We have many LGBTQ+ friends. We both barely cared gore politics and saw things in the grey. Now, he's turned hyper-conservative and a conspiracy believer. This is ripping out my soul. Every time he goes into a rant, I want to vomit, and my skin crawls. I hate that he turned into a person I don't recognize anymore. Again, I'm neutral but liberal leaning. Every rant is me being chill and trying to meet him in the middle and him screaming at me that I'm part of woke culture. He forgets that I've always been a kind, open, loving person. I love our family. I love our life. I love our home. I hate him for who he is now. I wish I never married him. Clayton Ari says, this actually happened with one of my best friends. He fell down the same rabbit hole and spews nonsense like this on Twitter/X all day long. It's honestly really sad to see. I don't have any advice for you. I've pretty much failed at trying to pull my buddy out. Just know you're not alone. Jip Jabbeep says, thanks so much. This thread is helping so much. I thought I was about to explode after another rant tonight. AU2288 says, a close friend is the same way. Any of their talking points on anything significant could have been gained from watching a Rugrats news segment. IDK what to tell ya either, even when provided with straight up facts and literature. I get, oh, that's fake. Both at 308 says, I couldn't stick with it. You have far more patience than I have. But I'm also way more left politically than you are, most likely. I'm very sorry. Jip Jabbeep says, I'm fairly left leaning, but had to force myself to be more neutral for our family. It's why my soul is shattered. Mojajaga says, do you have children? They shouldn't have to deal with the stress of daddy ranting over conspiracy theories. What if they start copying his hateful rhetoric and start bullying their classmates? What if dad enforces strict gender roles? What if he won't allow them to be vaccinated? Do they see/hear him constantly yelling, sometimes at mommy, and assume that's normal? What if one of your kids identifies as LGBTQ? You need to think about their needs first and how staying with your husband will affect them long term. r/off my chest. Random dude number 6 says, getting guilt tripped to having kids. 33F married for 1.5 years to my best friend 38 meters. Both sides of the family asking where the grandkids are at. More so on my husband's side. He's an only child. The only son. The only one who can pass down his surname. Mill keeps saying they want to meet their grandkids before they pass. etc. My husband and I are decidedly child free. We cannot afford kids. Both of us are struggling artists. Heck, we have 3 rescued dogs and we are just getting by. I can't imagine having to pay for diapers, school, colleges. I'm afraid of passing on some undiagnosed mental illness to my future kid. I'm not attracted to the idea of carrying a fragile being inside of me for 9 months and then ripping apart my body at childbirth. I don't want kids. But everyone is pressuring me to have them. My in-laws. My parents. Heck, even my co-workers are butting their heads in my business. Asking me how long I've been married. When I'd be pregnant. I've told them I can't afford kids and they just say, oh, you'll find a way. This frick has been complaining about his paycheck all going towards his kid and now he wants me to suffer that fate. Frick no. I keep hearing that I'm almost past childbearing age. Scaring me by saying, if I wait too long my kids are more likely to not be normal when born. And I hate to say it but it's, frick, I'm getting to me. I feel mostly guilty because of my in-laws. I'm lucky that they are very sweet to me. But they are getting on in age. A part of me do feel bad that the only babies I can give them are the furry. Keep Nates this time says. You don't owe anyone anything. Follow your own conscience. Worst case scenario, if you end up having babies to appease your in-laws, demand them to pay for everything. PNKNLVR96 says. Keep saying on repeat, no thanks, we don't want kids. I know it's harder to avoid cowhawkers, but go lower contact with parents and in-laws. And get your husband to step up and tell his parents to back off. IV15 says. Be honest and just say you don't want and won't be having children. Ask them to stop bringing it up because you won't be having this conversation. I know the feeling cause I went through the same. It changes really fast when you go from I can't afford them to I do not want them. Makinbakan Pankake says. Kids are the one thing you can never take back. Do not do it unless you are 100% sure. When you make that choice there is no backing out for the rest of your life. Wild_det_8065 says. Your son has fertility problems. /s. r/offmychest. 1_Basil_4170 says. Cried in the shower knowing it ruined the possibility of a rape kit. I'm so frustrated with myself and the whole process of reporting rape. Having to decide immediately if you want to be poked, prodded, examined, photographed, interrogated, and treated like walking evidence by complete strangers, or if you want to ultimately let your rapist get away with it. Yesterday evening I undressed, stepped into the shower, and cried knowing I was washing all trace of him off me. I think I began to cry because I knew this meant no rape kit. And the reality set in that I was never going to report it. That he would get away with it. And it done nothing to protect other women who might encounter him. This is the second time I have been raped in the past 2 years. The first time it happened, I spent month after month beating myself up for being too cowardly to report it. Told myself if I could go back and handle it differently, I would. I never thought it would ever happen again, and, well, it happened again, and I've been just as cowardly. I spent all of yesterday feeling disgusting and dirty, wanting to wash him off me, but not showering, because I know I should go to the hospital. In the end I folded and wanted it all to go away. I got in the shower and cried at the decision I made. I have so many thoughts running through my head. I can barely focus on even the simplest tasks. I keep thinking I should have reported it. I should have gone for a rape kit. Did it even happen how I remember? Did he even know what he was doing was wrong? Why has it happened to me twice? What am I doing so wrong for it to keep happening? Am I ever going to be able to have a normal relationship? It keeps happening because you're weak, you have a bad taste in me, you allow men to take advantage of you, they see you are weak. I'm in physical pain from the injuries it's caused, and the anxiety is eating me up. I haven't a constant lump in my throat. I couldn't think of anything worse right now than going to a hospital or a police station, or calling a helpline. I want to be alone, but I also feel so alone. Tiny Neighborhood 667 says. You should still go to the hospital. While it's true showering does destroy some evidence, you can still bring your clothes and there is some evidence that still might be intact. Ultimately, as well, in many states, you aren't required to file a police report if you don't want to. However, it is still important to put yourself first and get checked out. The doctors can make sure there isn't any injuries that might need treatment, and they can put you in contact with some counselors. You aren't weak. Everyone deals with trauma in their own way. Take care of yourself and be gentle with yourself. Lord Kanye Arthur West says, "Yo, that last part, you're not weak. I'm baffled at how often this happens as a man. A man that does this is weak. To be physically more able and use that in this way is weak. It's disgusting." Vegetable Web 7221 says, "You're in shock. I was the same after it happened to me. Just keep breathing. You don't need to go to the police, but you should look into talking to a professional about what you have been through. I searched online and found some free therapy for survivors. I plan on signing up next week. It says there is no cutoff for length of time from what had happened to when you start the therapy. Here it offers 13 free sessions. But yeah, I had to shower after it as well, washing everything away. Kept thinking of how stupid it was for me, yo, not call police right away. I didn't tell anyone for years, and it finally all just came out when I was with friends. Ended up getting kicked out of the bar for yelling. Trauma does messed up things to people, but there are people if you need a person to talk to." That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.